Welcome to CSL TV. I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day now. As you can see, a Florida man was arrested after he hit his wife in the head or in the body, face, whatever, with a Christmas tree because she asked him to help her make dinner. Now, your old ass gotta eat, right? So why the fuck you out here hitting your wife? Don't understand it, but hey, this shit was reported, so he must have evidently took his ass to jail because he must have knocked her ass out, and now she in the hospital recovering. So, like I said, this holiday season, like every holiday season, people are going crazy. So y'all be careful. Plus, we got this COVID shit, and then Omicron, or Marvigan, wherever the fuck it is. They keep mutating and creating and blah, blah, blah.
Starbucks baristas at 100 stores are on strike.
They want to unionize, but Starbucks is not on board with the idea. The company says it works better when dealing with employees directly, but it says it respects employees' right to protest. This is wild. 2 people were rescued from a car that fell off a cliff, and you gotta see it to believe it. Now, this car fell hundreds of feet into this canyon in California earlier this week, and amazingly, they were able to climb out of that car on their own. Now, that area is known for some sketchy cell phone service, but technology gave them a lifeline. They used a feature on their phone that connects to emergency services using a satellite, and they were able to tell rescuers where they were. Pretty soon after that, they were airlifted to safety. It turns out they only got minor injuries and one crazy story to tell.
Now, shit like this is when you gotta think to yourself, yo, the one most high, whoever of high power or the angels or somebody protecting me from this shit. Because if you see this car and it fall off a mountain cliff, goddamn it, nobody survived that shit. Motherfucking shit didn't even blow up. It didn't even do none of that. And then they was able to climb out, call for help, all that good shit to survive. And you can't tell me something of high power helped them stay alive. You can't tell me that. Because every fucking situation I see like this, yeah, he fucking goddamn done.
And he does unspeakable things with his victim.
Would want to ask him why my daughter.
I'm angry because he didn't face justice.
Whether it's DNA testing or survivors coming forward, more murderers are being brought to justice. Here are 3 suspected serial killers who were identified in 2022. Number 3. Anthony Eugene Robinson. Anthony Eugene Robinson, known as the shopping cart killer, is a 35-year-old accused serial killer. On November 23, 2021, the bodies of Aline Redmond and Tonita Smith were found in a vacant lot near the Moon Inn Hotel in Alexandria, Virginia. The women were placed a short distance away from each other, but they died at different times.
I'll never be able to smell her again. I'll never be able to hear her voice again. Like, it's the worst thing that anybody could ever go through.
Hotel surveillance footage and cell phone records pointed to one suspect, Anthony Robinson. He was arrested, charged with both murders, and held without bail. Robinson had no criminal record, but had frequently moved between different states and jobs. In December 2021, 2 more victims were found: Cheyenne Brown, who was 4 months pregnant, and Stephanie Harrison. They were officially linked to Robinson in January 2022, making him a suspected serial killer.
I think I would want to ask him why my daughter. Why these other women?
Authorities believe he met the victims on dating sites, lured them to hotels, and then dumped their bodies in a vacant lot using a shopping cart.
He preys on the weak, he preys on the vulnerable, and he does unspeakable things with his victim.
Police suspected there were more, and they were right. Earlier in September, a woman's body had been found in a shopping cart in Washington, D.C. The undetermined cause of death of Sonia Champ was reclassified as a homicide, and Robinson was named the main suspect this year. Now police are investigating the 2018 death of his fiancée, Sky Allen, who was believed to have died suddenly from cardiac arrhythmia. In total, the shopping cart killer is currently linked to 6 murders. He is still behind bars awaiting trial, and investigations are ongoing.
God damn, you mean to tell me this sick motherfucker was going around killing women and shit and putting them in shopping carts? What type of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? He do what he do, put him in a shopper cart, and ride him to where he want to drop them off. And I'm actually surprised nobody seen his motherfucker do this shit the first time. And then this motherfucker was repeatedly doing this shit and had done this multiple times. Like, what the fuck? This shit is crazy. Like, I just can't believe people, man. These stories that we be looking at be getting like, yo.
Are ongoing. Number 2, Joe Michael Irvin. In 1969, in Texas, 17-year-old Irvin shot 21-year-old Rodney Gene Bonham in a fight. He was charged with murder, but he fled to Denver and changed his name to Joe Michael Irving. In the next 7 years, the repeat offender would be charged with many offenses, including burglary, rape, and child molestation. Fortunately, he always managed to avoid jail time, and his crimes would escalate to murder. On December 7, 1978, Irwin knocked on Madeline Furry Libaday's door. The housewife was alone with her daughters. He forced his way in and stabbed her to death. 2 years later, Dolores Barajas was walking home from work when Irvin stabbed her multiple times and dragged her body to a different location. 4 months later, the body of Gwendolyn Harris was found near Irvin's apartment with multiple stab wounds. And a month after that, the body of pregnant Antoinette Parks was found in a field, stabbed 23 times.
She was loved by a lot of people, and it still to this day hurt us all.
3 days later, Officer Deborah Sue Core flagged Irvin down for a DUI. While she was trying to arrest him, he grabbed her gun and shot her. He fled the scene, but was later arrested and charged. And while being held in a solitary cell, Irvin hanged himself. In the 2010s, DNA evidence linked the 4 women, and in 2022, authorities officially named Irvin as the primary suspect in the 4 murders.
I was angry until I found out who it was. Now the anger dissipated. I'm angry because he didn't face justice. But I know my mom, family would not want us angry. They want us to be happy that this is all brought to a close.
Number 1.
I don't know why it wasn't no FBI mask hunt, no motherfucking goddamn marshals, everybody on this motherfucking guy. He has shot people, stabbed fucking women. Like, it should have been a serious manhunt for this guy. Because to stab somebody to death, that's just, first you shoot somebody and you like, dang, that didn't do nothing to me. So then you start stabbing people. And when you stab people, it's usually, I don't know, as what we watched and witnessed, damn, I can't even talk thinking about it. Stabbing means something personal. So this motherfucker was so infatuated in love, goddamn killing people and victims, how they act, that it turned his sick ass on. But y'all already know this coward took his life. And like, the man said, everybody pissed off that what they wanted to see didn't happen in court. But in good spirits, their mom wouldn't want them to be down and sad about the whole situation because something was done and it was closed. And now you can move on with life and grieve how you grieve, but don't let it hold you down. And I know exactly what that means.
Number 1. John Charles Bolsinger. On March 29, 1980 in Salt Lake City, John Bolsinger met Casey Sorensen at a bar and went to her apartment. The following day, she was found strangled to death with a cord around her neck. Her stereo had been stolen, and she may have been sexually assaulted. Days later, Bolsinger was arrested and charged with manslaughter. He was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years to life. 5 years later, Bolsinger was paroled to Springfield, Oregon. 3 months after his release, police found the body of Gladys May Hensley, strangled and sexually assaulted in her apartment. And 2 weeks later, the half-naked body of Janice Marie Dickinson was found in a grassy area behind a car dealership. She had also been sexually assaulted. Police were investigating the last 2 murders, believing they were connected. Meanwhile, Bolsinger was arrested for breaking into a woman's apartment in Springfield, for which he was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years. Unfortunately, he was paroled just 1 year later for good behavior. 3 months after his second release from prison, Bolsinger Bolsinger sexually assaulted, strangled, and stabbed Geraldine Spencer Toohey at her house. This crime led to the police releasing a sketch of the murderer. In 2000, the 3 Oregon murders were linked through DNA. 18 years later, a snapshot based on the suspect's DNA was released to the public. Finally, in 2022, the Eugene Police Department officially identified the 1980s Oregon serial killer as John Charles Bolsinger. Unfortunately, he never faced justice, having died by suicide in March 1988.
And then we got this coward killed himself, out here raping women and killing them. You know you sick as hell. You ain't motherfucking you. I don't know what to say. Like, what make y'all motherfuckers want to be like that? You feel me? Like, damn. But you know what they say, people who do that, there's always a special place for you. And you die with your sins and all that shit because you was a sick person. You know, that's just, yeah. But y'all let me know down in the comment section, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe, like, comment. The feedback is well appreciated. And I hope y'all having a beautiful, blessed day.
A pastor and his son are under arrest for fraud after getting more than $8 million in federal COVID relief aid in 2020. Now, prosecutors say it all started after Pastor Evan Edwards lied on a PPP application back in 2020, asking for $6 million from the federal government to keep their family-run church going. On that app, Edwards allegedly said they employed nearly 500 people with roughly a $2 million payroll, but prosecutors say that's not true. When investigators scoped out the church's office, there weren't any employees there. At the time, the government gave the Edwards over $8 million. But instead of the money going to the church, prosecutors say it went to things like buying a $3 million house outside of Disney World. And when agents tried to talk to the family, they disappeared. But pretty soon, cops caught up with them on a highway. Now, the pastor allegedly said that they were on their way to a conference out of state. According to the cops, inside the car was a paper shredder and bags of ripped up documents. Video shows the son being led out of their Florida house in handcuffs. Both men have been charged with fraud and were scheduled to be in court today, but the pastor didn't show up. His lawyer told the judge that his client appeared nonverbal and that there were grave medical concerns surrounding his health. The son was there, but looked confused. NBC reached out to Edwards' lawyer, but we haven't heard back.